I'm Mackenzie.
And I'm Kai.
And welcome back to the Gopher Nation News. Grab a snack.
Or a drink.
And get comfortable for episode 6. Kai, what's your favorite snack?
My favorite snack is a hot dog.
Wow. Let's get into it.
Yeah!
Our school is now finished, and once we go back to school in person, we will be able to see it all in glory. But for now, Gopher Nation News has an exclusive finished school building tour for you, and we can't wait to show you. Wow, I can't wait to see all these changes in person. It looks amazing. Next up, there's been a lot of changes in sports this year, so we sat down athletic director Gonrowski for more updates.
Can you give us an update with what's currently happening with sports right now?
Yeah, so we have started in-person workouts at Gresham High School. Previously, we were doing virtual workouts and meetings with teams. And now we got the go ahead from the district to be able to get out on the field and have kids work out in socially distant groups, in masks, but do all these things in person and in size limited groups as well.
Okay. What are the current plans for the future with sports?
A lot of where we go from here with sports is based around what the state tells us. Right, there's going to be, in general, guidance from the state takes us to where we get to go to next. Right now, as plans are laid out, in our district, in this next week, we're going to start using equipment. Previously, we were only doing body weight exercises if it was strength stuff or agility stuff or endurance type activities. And now we'll be able to bring out, in a safe fashion, balls and other equipment as coaches have deemed it important to do. It still won't look like a regular practice, right? We're not going to be able to line up and have a receiver running a drill against the defensive back and those kind of things. But we will be able to have the fun of actually being able to kick a soccer ball or throw a football, right? And those things that would start to feel a little bit more like kind of the sports that we're used to. And part of the fun of that. Beyond that, as we look at where seasons may go, February is kind of our start with OSAA sports for what the fall season would start in February. And so we're working on, kind of the steps that it would take until we're told that things change. And they have changed. We've been through a few situations here where we've had dates we're working towards, and then it's been changed. But we're working forward under the idea that we will be prepped when the time comes.
Thanks, Mr. Gonrowski. We want to know how school athletes were dealing with this constant changes to their sports seasons, so we decided to catch up with a few of them and discuss the new outdoor practices and how they're using the computer app Train Heroic.
What is Train Heroic?
Train Heroic is an app and website that we started using that allows your coaches to set up workouts for you, put them to certain days that you can see pretty much everything you need to see to be able to complete your workout at home.
What are some exercises you do weekly from Train Heroic?
That's actually the good thing about Train Heroic is your coaches can give you any sort of exercise, whether you've seen it or not, and Train Heroic will probably have a video showing you what to do and how to do it, and they can set how much you need to do of it, and you just get it done to the best of your ability. So pretty much everything.
Do you like Train Heroic?
I do like Train Heroic. It doesn't really have many issues with it. It's really easy to use. It's good for giving big groups of people the same sort of workout, and you can see how we improve over the weeks. If your coach wants to change it up, he can put whatever he wants into what workout you're going to get. So I think it's a really good tool for at-home workouts, and it works pretty well.
Okay, thank you.
How do you feel about in-person practices?
I feel that it's really great to be back together with the team, even though it's social distancing and we can't do as much as we usually do. But I think it's nice to somewhat go back to normal.
Yeah. What benefits do you think there are to in-person practicing?
We can get cleaned on a lot of things we haven't been able to work on in a while, and we can have conversations still and catch up and talk about how we've been trying to stay active.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate in-person practices?
I think I would give them a 7 out of 10. It's pretty early for winter workouts and it's really cold outside, but I feel that it's really great to be back with the team.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Good luck to all the athletes out there. Everyone is hoping we can get back into real sports and real life as soon as possible. I personally missed the fierce volleyball girls going spike, bump, set, yes, go Gophers. Anyways, next we've caught up to the theater department to learn more about their many radio shows that they put on during distance learning.
How are radio shows recorded and produced?
We all meet up in a Google Meet, and then we each record separate voice memos starting at the same time. So we record throughout the entire scene together, and then we just merge them all together when it comes to the editing process.
Okay. And what does casting look like for casting with radio shows?
For casting, we also meet up inside a Google Meet, and we all split off into breakout rooms depending on what side of the audition we're auditioning for. And then we all get called in by Austin Joseph at some point to audition for both him and Mrs. Dempsey.
Mm-hmm. And how much time do radio shows usually take up after school?
After school, they usually last from about 3:40 to 5 o'clock. So it's a decent amount of time, but not too much.
Okay. Who are some of the significant people that go into making these projects look really good?
Primarily our council. We have a lot of people get separate jobs like making posters and programs, etc. And we also have our editors, which for our last few ones, we had Belle C as one of our editors and Allie Cope as another one who did really good jobs editing them together. And that's, I would say, one of the most important jobs aside from the directors and actors.
Mm-hmm. And by any chance, do you know when your next radio shows are going to be out?
I do not know that information yet, but I know we will have more coming out.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
How many students took place in the radio show, all together with both shows you did?
Several. Because there were people not only doing the parts, the acting parts, but and the voice parts, but there was the technical parts. Asna, how many do you think were involved?
I think we had probably about 20 different students somewhere between 20 and 25 students involved with all 4 different radio shows that we did this past.
And probably about 10 or 15 more that did like working on all the technical aspects, the lighting and the sound and the imagery and all that kind of stuff. So lots of kids.
Yeah. Okay. Good question. Was there any difficulties in creating a radio show, like recording or doing stuff online?
Of course there are. Of course there's new challenges like there is for every single show. I think the fun challenge of recording online is you're dealing with like Google Meets and some of the delay there, and then you have to go back and edit it. When we're editing all of the audio together, you have to have your audio turned like all the way down to hear through headphones as you're trying to say your lines and recording it with a separate device. So there's all sorts of new challenges, let alone when you're editing the whole thing together, taking 10 people's audio plus music and sound effects and imagery over the top of it. So each show had their problems, but fortunately we were all able to work together and be organized and have a plan in place to be able to get everything done when it needed to get done. And we really didn't run into too many like, uh-oh moments. I thought everything went really, really smoothly for the most part.
Of all the radio shows you did together, what was your favorite part? Like being with the students or like working together? What was your favorite part about making radio shows together?
So much fun with my students. You know, they were really so engaged. Everybody was on camera, on mic. We were chatting and laughing and interacting, and it was very social. And we just had a blast together, as well as creating and being creative and using our imagination. And that doesn't happen a lot right now virtually. So definitely that creative interaction, social, emotional connection with my students made a huge difference.
For sure. And along the same lines for me, I think just providing an opportunity for students not only to express themselves artistically through the radio shows, but also just to have each other there in those Google Meets where we're talking for an hour, to be able to say hi and socialize and have those moments where people mess up and we laugh about it, and just to be in a rehearsal again, I think was really special, and those are the moments that I truly enjoy and I cherish, and I'm really glad that we were able to have them.
I also really loved challenging my students. You know, they came up with the posters, they came up with the trailers, all this stuff, things that I didn't know my students was able to do, and really challenge them to do these things. Made it really exciting for me to see how these posters turn out, the trailers turn out, how the music and the imagery and the things that they came up with, and seeing how creative they were in a different way than I do in person. And that was really fun.
And lastly today, as the NFL season winds down and we head off into the playoffs, here are some predictions for you.
14 teams make the NFL playoffs each year. Only one will become the champion. I asked 10 random people at Gresham who they think is making the Super Bowl. The results I got were very mixed. 2 people chose the Green Bay Packers and the Buffalo Bills to make it to the NFL Super Bowl this year. 4 people out of the random 10 chose the Chiefs and Packers to go to the NFL Super Bowl. 3 people chose the Kansas City Chiefs and the New Orleans Saints to make it. 1 person chose the Seahawks and the Bills to make it to the NFL Super Bowl. I wonder why the Seahawks were only chose once.
That's all we have for you today. And just a reminder, let's all be kind to one another. We are all human, no matter race, gender, sexuality, religion. We're all human, and we all deserve happiness. So let's be kind. We all deserve contentment in our lives. Have a great week. Bye.